out on the silent edges of Coyote Ridge, where the land keeps more secrets than the people who live on it. Rancher Cole Maddox stumbled upon something he was never meant to see. At first it looked like nothing, just a strange, swollen patch of earth in the middle of his fields. But the closer he got, the more the ground seemed to pulse, almost like it was breathing. What started as a curious look turned into a discovery that would tear open the past and shake the foundations of everything he believed about his family. Beneath that swollen mound lay a truth buried with purpose, a truth powerful enough to break a man. And the moment Cole touched that soil, his life began to unravel. Stay with this story till the end, because the deeper he digs, the darker it gets. And what he finds underneath will shatter him and someone else's legacy forever. The sun had barely begun its slow descent when Cole Maddox first noticed a strange rise in the earth. He'd ridden this part of the ranch 1,000 times, seen every coyote trail and every dry creek bed, but today something felt off. His horse Dusty kept tossing its head, ears twitching toward the far end of the field like it sensed something hidden beneath the soil. Cole dismounted, boots crunching on the brittle grass. From a distance, the mound had looked like a natural hump, maybe caused by rain, maybe by shifting ground, but standing over it now, he felt a strange heaviness in his chest. The dirt here was smoother, too neat, like it had been placed deliberately rather than shaped by nature. He crouched, brushing his hand over the swollen patch. The ground felt warm, not sun-warm, but warm from within, as if the earth itself had a pulse. A faint tremor rippled against his palm. Cole jerked back, breath catching. The wind was still. Nothing else moved. For a moment he wondered if exhaustion was playing tricks on him. Long days, too much work, too many ghosts from the past he never quite outran. But then Dusty let out a nervous snort, stomping the dirt like he wanted nothing more than to turn and run. The horse's reaction confirmed what Cole already felt deep in his gut. This wasn't normal. Cole leaned closer, pressing his ear toward the ground. Silence, then a faint thud like something shifting beneath the surface. His skin prickled. Something was buried here, something that shouldn't be. He stood slowly, scanning the empty plains around him. No footprints, no wagon tracks, no signs of anyone coming or going. The isolation made the moment even more unsettling. Whoever or whatever had done this hadn't wanted it found. The shadows stretched longer as the sun dipped behind the mesas, and the mound seemed to swell even more as the light faded, its contour unnaturally smooth against the rugged land. Cole swallowed hard. He wasn't a man who scared easy. Years of ranching, storms, predators, and hardship had carved the fear out of him. But this was different. A part of him whispered to leave it alone, to walk away and forget he ever saw it. But another part, a deeper, stubborn, sharper part, told him the truth always finds its way to the surface. He took one last look at the trembling mound, the earth breathing like something alive beneath it. Whatever lay under there, tomorrow morning he would dig it up, and he had a feeling nothing in his life would ever be the same after that. Cole worked through the rising light of morning, his breath turning white in the chilled air, the rhythm of his shovel hitting the earth echoing across the silent creek bed. Every layer he peeled away only made the ground look more unnatural, like someone had hurriedly packed it down, trying to smooth over a story the land never agreed to keep. Sweat gathered on his brow despite the cold. Something wasn't right. The soil here wasn't the same as the rest of the ranch. It was darker, heavier, mixed with clay that didn't belong. Someone had brought dirt from elsewhere to hide whatever lay under it. The moment his shovel struck wood, a sharp, hollow thud jolted him. Cole froze. His heartbeat drummed in his ears as he knelt down, brushing away clumps of soil with trembling fingers. Slowly, the edge of a wooden surface emerged, its grain visible beneath the mud. The more he wiped, the clearer it became. A coffin, weathered but intact. A coffin on his land. A coffin nobody had told him about. A coffin someone had worked hard to bury. His chest tightened. This wasn't some forgotten grave from the frontier days. The construction was too familiar, too recent. And when he pushed more dirt away, he saw it. The unmistakable symbol burned into the wood. The Maddox Ranch brand. Cole felt the blood drain from his face. He whispered to himself, "No, this can't be ours." But there it was, clear as day.
Hands shaking, he wedged his crowbar under the lid.
It creaked, loud enough to feel wrong in the stillness of the morning. The smell of old dust and trapped air escaped as the lid loosened. Cole lifted it, bracing for a body. bones, anything human. But inside was something far stranger. A leather-bound journal rested on faded cloth, preserved as if someone wanted it to survive the years.
And beneath it,
A scrap of fabric, dark blue torn at the edge, worn with age. Cole recognized it instantly. The pattern, the stitching, the texture. It was from his father's old coat. The one the old man had worn until his final days. The one he never let out of his sight. Cole felt like the ground had shifted under him. His father had been many things, strict, proud, secretive. But this, a hidden coffin? A journal locked away in the earth with the family brand burned on top. Questions flooded him, one slamming into the next. Why hide a coffin? Why leave a journal inside it? And why did his father's coat end up here of all places? The early sun crept over the horizon, casting long shadows across the disturbed earth. Cole stared into the coffin as dust floated through the light like silent confessions. Whatever he had uncovered, it wasn't just an object. It was a truth someone never meant for him to find. Cole's fingers tightened around the journal until the leather bent beneath his grip. Each line he read felt like a hammer falling on his chest. His father, the man who taught him honor, fairness, and hard work, had written with a cold, steady hand about things no decent man should ever do. There were names, dates, and crude maps, all pointing to the same truth: people had disappeared, and the land Cole inherited had been built on their silence. The wind picked up, scattering dust across the open coffin, making the lantern flame dance. But Cole didn't move. He read on, each word dragging him deeper into a darkness he'd never known, was tied to his own bloodline. A page near the end trembled in his hand. It wasn't written in his father's handwriting. This one was shakier, rushed, almost like the person writing it had been in danger. It described the night everything went wrong, how the homesteaders tried to flee, how a shot in the dark ended a life that wasn't meant to be taken. The writer claimed they buried the truth quickly, hoping the earth would hide it forever. Cole felt the weight of generations pressing down on him. His father wasn't just present that night. He was the one who gave the order. He closed the journal slowly, staring at the swollen patch of dirt now split open like an old scar. The truth had always been there, buried just deep enough to forget. But the land doesn't forget. And now Cole couldn't either. A voice inside him whispered that he should cover it all back up, pretend he'd never seen it. The ranch was his life, his legacy. But another voice, stronger, steadier, told him something else. If he let this go, he'd be no different than the man whose secrets he'd just unearthed. Cole stood there as dawn settled over the plains, painting the sky in pale gold. His heart felt heavier than any saddle he'd ever lifted, yet somehow clearer than it had in years. One truth echoed through him. He couldn't carry his father's sins any longer. And whether the town hated him, whether the ranch burned, whether his entire world cracked apart, he knew he had to bring the truth to light. Only then could he rebuild something honest from the ashes of everything he thought he knew. The swollen earth behind him was silent again. But Cole understood now. It wasn't a warning. It was a reckoning.